What's up, twin? Um, it was a bit of a weirder video today, if I'm being so honest. Um, the idea for me for this video, um, actually came last night. After I recorded my other video. While I was laying in bed, I was laying in bed with my dog, just looking at my ceiling, speaking out loud to myself. Um, and then I was like, well, I feel like the things I'm saying need to be made into a video. But I guess more context though before I get into the main stuff. Um, 2 seconds, same thing. Any deep thought, any conflicting things you have, whatever, comment, and I'll talk about it later maybe. I don't know what's wrong with my dog's paw that bothers me. Anyways, but like I said, um, I made a video yesterday which sparked the thought to make this video. If you didn't watch yesterday's, you should. Also, me making videos 2 days in a row is kind of crazy. But basically, the video I made yesterday was about the power of words, and not the power of words as in some big, deeply psychological. You can manipulate people with your words type of way, but more of just, in my personal opinion, from my life experiences. I don't know. I feel that people devalue words, and I feel that people devalue communicating and just kind of meaning what you say. I don't know. I feel like meaning what you say isn't the right thing. I feel that, like, I just think that people just devalue or underestimate the power that communicating with somebody can really have. Really, like, the power of the certain words that you use, can how it can affect somebody, or you know if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't really give too much details in the video because it's one of those, I say it a lot. It doesn't need to be spoken about. I'm sorry. I know that makes the videos kind of more vague, um, but it's just respectful. So that's why I don't talk about it. Is because it's just better not to. It's more of a respectful thing to not speak on other people's stuff. But yeah, that's what yesterday's video was about. Is I just felt that people. I just don't know that people truly value, language, and communicating and speaking and using powerful, strong words that much. Um, because it's kind of one of those, like with the video, like the main thing, I couldn't find the words last night. It's always one of those, I figure out the perfect words as soon as I get done pressing record. Um, but it's like there's things that are fundamental. There's fundamental things that were like established and established with words, I guess you could say. And now all of those fundamental words, it kind of just feels like they didn't matter. All of those fundamental things that were said just gone. It was like the words were never even said. And my like another big thing for me is, you can never unsay anything. You have no real life undo button to go back 10 seconds and unsay what you said or reword it. So I was just having a hard time comprehending how people can just speak, not even speak, how messages can be delivered from one person to another, um but then, like, do you mean what you say? Do people mean what they say? And I'm not, this isn't like I'm saying humans are bad, we're evil, blah blah blah, we're all liars. No, 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 no. The easiest way to think about it, though, and what makes sense to how I can explain it to you guys, is it's just like I said a couple seconds ago. There's fundamental things. um there was fundamental things that got established, and now all those fundamentals just faded away, and it just, through the power of words, that's where the fundamentals came from. It's just confusing, right? Now, I don't know if any of that made sense. I don't even, it's probably been like a couple minutes, like 5 minutes. I don't know if any of that made sense, but what I'm getting at is, because of the video I made yesterday, like I said, when I had went to lay down in bed, just me and my dog, I was just sitting there, just thinking to myself, just thinking out loud. I was talking to God, and fuck, I knew this video was gonna be a hard one to make. I had it. I sounded way better last night talking to myself, but I was talking to God and just telling him I just wanted to be clear. You know, Shout out Terrifier, his twin. I like him way too much. It's really bad, guys. But I was telling him I just wanted to be clear, you know? I wanted a clear mind. Um, I'm not going to be able to understand everything. Humans were very, very curious creatures, and we just have the desire to just know things. Um, yeah, I understand I'm not going to know everything. Um, I understand I'm not going to ask the right questions, but it's just one of those. I was just talking to him, and I'm just like, twin, I just want to be clear. I just want to just understand. I'm not asking for the the cheat sheet to the test. I just want to know were the words real. I'm sorry, guys, that I can't explain it. But this is also like this is me trying to figure out myself right now too. Um, some of the times with these videos, I kind of plan them out, and I've come up with a baseline topic in my head of how it'll flow. Um, but yesterday's and this one is it's kind of just me just talking to myself, me hearing my words out loud to gauge how I feel. Maybe I can learn something about myself through these. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's not so much me talking to you guys and trying to give you knowledge or insight. This is quite literally me speaking to myself, um, to try to figure out something. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm just having a hard time just understanding. You know, I'm just having a hard time understanding. I'm talking to God. And I'm telling him, God, I just want a clear mind. I'm tired of waking up, every day thinking about the wrong things. Not that they're bad things. I want to clarify that. But like I wake up every day. I've woken up for this past week, and I'm thinking about. I kid you not. For this past week, I've thought about not my life whatsoever. From the moment I wake up, I'm thinking about something else. Nothing that involves my life at all. I could be thinking about what I have to do today. I gotta go to the store. I gotta do this and that. No, I'm not thinking about my life at all for this last week. And it's kind of annoying. Um, but it's one of those. I kind of want to know why I do that. And that's in part where this video comes from. Um, yeah, enough for the side rants. I guess we can talk the main part of the video. I'm probably gonna start sweating too. Um, like I said, I was talking to myself last night, trying to gauge my emotions and how I felt, and I came to terms with one thing. I thought about the patterns in my life and the people that I've met and how they've affected me and how I've carried myself through them affecting me. And I've realized that I have attachment issues to people. I do. I get attached to people. Um, like I said, I've thought about people in the past and the patterns, and I've saw things that lined up with how I carried myself, my body language, things I may have even said to them, and I just realized that I have attachment issues. I get attached to people. Um, you want to go inside? It's like huffing. We're all getting sweaty out here. I just took a shower too, guys. I'm so fro. I just took a shower and I'm already sweaty. This is terrible. Um, I got attachment issues. Yeah, I get attached to people. Um, how I talked to myself last night and what I'm finna do is I just went through each person that I've been attached to and how it affected me and how I carried myself through the going into detachment, I guess you could say, or how I really just carried myself through whatever was happening. Um, the first person that, again, I want to clarify this before you guys sit here, and if you're still here, if you finish this video is, I don't know if anything I'm going to say here is going to benefit you guys. I don't know if I'm going to say anything that's impactful, that's going to be insightful to where you hear it, pause, and you're like, damn, that made sense. This is quite literally just me speaking to myself to try to understand myself better. Because we all have issues. That's the name of the video. We all have issues. Something's wrong with us. And this is one of my issues is that I get attached to people. Um, yeah. So hold on. I'm gonna let my dog inside. Come here, Gaia. Sorry, guys. I disappeared for 2 seconds. I wish I had shade to stand in or something. I could stand next to my mom's car, but I don't feel like it. Um, damn, I'm sweaty as hell, boy. Anyways, um, I get attached to people. I do. I truly do have attachment issues, and I came to terms with it last night. But my main thing that I was really trying to figure out is where do my attachment issues come from? Like that's what I really want to know. Where do these issues of mine come from? I think again, and this is baseline. I'm not an expert. Just what made sense to me and what I could come up with is through my childhood. It's just me and my mom. I've said this in I feel like every fucking video. Matter of fact, so if you don't know it, you know it by now. Me and my mom. It kind of felt like there wasn't necessarily highs and lows, but there was. Nah, excuse me. I don't know where I'm going with that. Holy fuck! Okay, I am finna just move my phone next to my mom's car because I don't. I'm low-key not trying to be all hot and sweaty. Shout out mom's vehicle. You feel me? We got a Rav4 in the cut. Oh, I do not need my phone to fall though. I definitely don't need it to fall though. Okay, that should be good. I don't even know if that's straight. Anyways, um, anyways, the way that I thought about it, because again, all all issues that we have, trauma, how we carry or how we handle certain things that happen in life, all of it stems from your childhood. Every single, however you react to something, it stems from your childhood. Whether you believe it or not, it could be the majority of it. Obviously, there's like certain parts now that shape who you are, and that determines how you respond. But the more serious responses that you have to certain scenarios, it's more of a childhood trauma response. An example that I heard in a YouTube video I was watching the other day. Think about people who are in let's say a group meeting, right? The group meeting escalates. Now things are starting getting loud. There's this one girl who usually speaks her mind and talks. Now that things are getting loud and things are yelling, she goes quiet and she just stares at a wall or something. The response from that is in her childhood, there was probably a lot of yelling, there was probably a lot of arguing. And the only way she could escape that arguing was to just go mute, just shut down and quite literally be in her own world. And that's one of those, a product of early childhood has an effect on adulthood, right? And um, that's what this is. The only difference is I don't know what happened in my childhood. Now, again, because I need to get to the main part of this. Um, what made the most sense to me is that so like as a kid, the easiest way to explain it, my mom would kind of be like, "Hey, we're gonna go to the playground. Hey, we're gonna do this. Hey, we're gonna go to the mall. Hey, I'll get you this new game." But we didn't ever go to the playground, and I didn't ever go to the mall, and I never got the new game. Um, I'm not saying these are false promises. I mean, like to a kid, they are because you like, cause as if I'm a kid and you tell me I'm finna get a new Game Boy, I'm finna be happy as hell. And if I don't get a new game, I'll be like, why didn't why didn't we get a new game? What's happening? But I think for me, that's where it stems from to a degree. And again, this is just what makes sense to me. I'm not an expert, but kind of one of those something gets brought up and then nothing happens, right? And then the adult version of me, how I perceive it, is acknowledgement. I feel that grown version me, 21-year-old B. My name is B, by the way. I've always just wanted to be acknowledged. Um, I remember because I moved around a lot. I never really had friends going to different schools because it's one of those you go to a school for a year and then you switch schools and it's like literally just restarting every single time. And because I'm an only child, I've always just had no issue just keeping to myself. It's just never been an issue for me. I can keep myself entertained. But going like as a kid, I literally went to a different school every single year, except from middle school, and then I even switched. I went to a different school in high school my junior year. But point being, excuse me, what makes sense to me is I've always just wanted to be acknowledged, right? And like for example, this is a pretty serious example. And as a kid, this one did hurt. Um, I don't remember what grade I was in. I want to say third or fourth. I think fourth grade. I remember the school I went to. I just don't remember what grade it was. Um, again, new school. I just moved there. I don't know anybody. I don't have any friends. Brand new kid. I got bullied at this school by a kid named Blaze. Yeah, Blaze. I let a kid named Blaze pick on me. Crazy, right? Um, but no, there was a point in time. I don't remember what part in the year that Blaze, um, like I'd try to talk to Blaze and his group of people, and then they'd be like, "Guys, do you hear something? Guys, what's that? What's that voice? Was that a mosquito? Is that a fly? What's that noise?" Right? Basically, just dismissing everything. The fact that I'm trying to have a conversation with you, not acknowledging me, and getting compared to a mosquito because mosquitoes just make sounds. As a little kid, I don't think you understand the volume of that. It does hurt too. I remember as a kid, like that shit did hurt. I remember I talked to the teacher about it. I talked to my mom about it. We made the kid apologize. Fuck that kid. I don't even remember what he looks like though. But it's alright, Blaze. No shade. Um, but I just wanted to be acknowledged, and I just didn't get acknowledged, right? And I think that's something that's just lingered throughout. Going into as I've just gotten older. Um, it's kind of just never faded away. I've just always wanted to be acknowledged. I'm not saying I wanted to be picked first for dodgeball. I just didn't want to be picked last. But the main part, and to the getting to the grown aspect of why I feel I have attachment issues, is because, like I said, I've noticed patterns throughout. People that I've talked to or have had strong emotions for, right? And the first one, and this is, I guess, where the video really starts. The first one is my very first girlfriend, the very first person I ever fell in love with. We're gonna call her Oranges. We're not saying governments around here. We're gonna call her Oranges. Sophomore year, um, basically, um, how things were starting to end. She wasn't the biggest fan of my mom. Because it's been me and my mom. There's always kind of been a lot of communication. Hey, where you go? Like, can I go hang out with friends? Hey, where are you going? How many people are going to be there? Who's going to be there? When you coming back? What are you going to do? Things like that. Um, and as I've gotten older, I definitely respect it because again, it's just me and her, so there's not really anybody to fall back on. So she kind of has to know the details. Um, whereas Oranges, she had mom, dad, and then she had a brother and two brothers and a sister. So it's one of those, it's not really like one person goes somewhere. It's kind of like all the kids go somewhere. So there really isn't this, hey mom, can we go somewhere? And this need for details. Um, But because of that and these two different dynamics, basically, she was the biggest fan of my mom. We're on the phone once. She called her a bitch. My mom heard it. I was trying to back her up or kind of be like, no, it wasn't like that. She wasn't talking about you, blah, blah, blah. But my mom heard it clear as day. Like I said, she wasn't the biggest fan of her. And that's really where this story starts is that phone call that day. Um, my mom was like, all right, this is not going to work. Um, it's just not going to work. You're not going to be with somebody who disrespected me. And because I'm, this 14-year-old, 15-year-old who's just like, this love thing's brand new. I'm not knowing how to react. I'm sitting there like, oh, okay, I can make it work still. We can still be together, even though you don't like my mom. My mom doesn't like you. We can still be together. Terrible idea. Um, no shade towards Oranges now. Great person. Oranges actually just had a kid like a week ago. Matter of fact. Um, but after that had happened, it was a very long summer. There at points in the time in the summer we had traveled. Um, we went. I want to say the first time was we went to meet my cousins and my aunt in out of town. Um, excuse me. And I would additionally like to say after the phone call, my mom was like, block her on add her, blah 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 blah. Right, very important to the story. Um, we go out of town. It's one of those. I found, at every moment that I could, or any little time that I could, I would just try to find a way to text her. Quite literally, we were out with my cousins and my aunt, and I go run to the bathroom for 5 minutes just to text her. Swear. Um, and then same thing. Mom found out. Cool, got my phone taken. Right. Fast forward, we go camping. Um, or not camping. We go to the lake. Um, because I was already, iffy. I was having mess ups. I was still grounded. During this camping trip, there was a point in time where I was like, hey, I'll give you your phone for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. And I was like, all right, bet. Cool. Um, I get my phone back. First thing I do is unblock her. Kid you not. Very first thing I do. I waited till I got out of my mom's like line of sight though to get on my phone. And it's kind of crazy that I'm saying this. You know, I could have literally done anything. I could have watched a YouTube video. I could have played games on my phone. I was granted for my phone. I didn't even play games on my phone. You know, that could have been the first thing I did. I could have texted my friends, looked at the group chat, something. I don't know. But the moment I was able to turn around and not see my mom, I instantly got on Instagram and I instantly unblocked her. Started texting her probably like 10, 15 minutes. Um, just getting as many words in as I could, I guess you could say. And then when I got back to my mom, I blocked her again because I wasn't supposed to be doing that, right? Um, but again, one of those in my mind, 15-year-old me, and this is another thing I was telling myself last night. I feel that my brain has a couple ways that I try to think about things, right? There's the optimistic side of just, hey, trust the process. Hey, just trust the process, right? There's another side of me where it's like looking into a tunnel. It's the other part's like, hey, there's light at the end of the tunnel. But the thing is, the tunnel's so long, you don't know if there's really light at the end of it or if it's a dead end, right? Um, and then there's the other part of me that wounds can heal. You know, you can somebody can stab my arm right now, but my arm will heal. It'll still my arm will heal. Scabs can heal, wounds can heal, right? And I think that's something that I was telling myself as a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, but grown version of me looks at it as I was attached, but also still with the same three things, or with the same, there's light at the end of the tunnel, optimistic, whatever, whatever. But today, I just see it as, I was attached because 21-year-old me, there's not a doubt in my mind that if somebody disrespects my mom, I'm not fucking with you. Sorry. If I get with a female, she doesn't like my mom, I don't like her. Simple as that, right? And it's crazy to me that I because I was I had all these emotions. I let somebody disrespect my mom when I was still trying to figure it out, right? That's one of those. Is there really light at the end of the tunnel? Or are you just attached, fool? Right. Fast forward from the camping trip. Um, this is actually right around "Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon" by Pop Smoke when that album came out. My mom had worked a lot. I was going to my cousin's house a lot because my mom was just always at work and didn't want to leave me at the house by myself. So I'd be at my cousin's house all the time. I knew when my mom woke up for work, uh, typically how long she worked, when she'd come back, um, kind of things along those sorts. And while she was at work, I'd unblock her again when I wasn't supposed to, because in my mind, I'm like, okay, there's still a way that I can fix this. There's still a way it can heal. This scab will heal. There is light at the end of the tunnel, maybe. And one day my mom came home, or excuse me, one day I heard my mom did come home. It was her, but I'm in my cousin's room, and I heard a door open, door close. I'm thinking it's either his sister or my aunt or his brother. I'm thinking it's anybody besides my mom. Because like I said, I know my mom's schedule. I know when she gets up. I know when she leaves the house. I know when she comes home. I know when she gets off. I know the estimated time when she's going to be home. Fast forward, it was my mom, right? Um, and at some point throughout me texting her, I was just chilling there, and you ever get like a urge, like somebody's watching you or something's behind you? I had got that, and then she was like, "Are you texting oranges?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I am. Yes, ma'am, I am." She's like, "All right, block her right in front of me, then give me your phone." Blocked her, gave her my phone. Cool, whatever. Fast forward, I got it back later. I didn't unblock her this time, but her sister reached out to me and was like, "Hey, the water park's having this big thing, blah, 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 blah. Y'all should come." Fast forward. I ended up going. Um, and again, I only went to the water park because I was trying to see her. Fast forward, I got my mom to I convinced my mom to let us go so we can just have fun, whatever. And then fast forward, there was a post that came out on Facebook about the big event, and then you can surely enough see me and her next to each other. And then she's like, "So that's why you want to go to the water park?" You'd be correct, ma'am. I'm sorry. Um, it's not hard to talk about. this was not hard to talk about at all, but it's like different to look back on because, like I said, this your very first relationship, your very first time you're in love, it's new, it's scary, it's hard, things don't make sense. You don't know if you should try to fix it or if you should just let it be because you're just so new to it. You don't know how this thing love's supposed to work. These weird emotions that you get and you don't even know what it is. You're like, is this love? Like you don't know how none of that shit works when you're young. Excuse me. And that's what I think a lot of that was for me, right? Because it's my first time. I just didn't know what it was. I didn't know how I was supposed to be feeling. I thought, okay, well, I love this person, so I'm gonna try to make it work, right? Cool. Anyways, didn't happen. I actually ended up getting switched out of schools. My mom switched me to a different school because I was not listening that summer. It was bad. There's also other reasons why I got switched, but that was just like one of them. But yeah, fast forward to second girlfriend, right? Um, and this is I'd like to say as time's gone on, I'd like to say I've got more mature. Obviously, different ages. One of them I was 14, 15. This next person I'm going to talk about, I was uh 17, 18. Maybe 19. Like senior, I got with her senior year of high school. And then it was on and off after that. Anyways, we'll call this one. We'll call her Apples. Um, I got Apples senior year of high school. I don't even know when. I don't know. Anyways, because that's all that shit's irrelevant. The main part, basically, um, me and Apples were on and off. I will say, me and Apples, we definitely didn't have the healthiest relationship. We both cheated on each other. We both lied to each other. Um, it just flat out just wasn't the healthiest in the world by any means. Um, but towards the end, there's always that you try to fix things phase because you just the grand scheme, the emotions are high. You really like somebody. You kind of just want to make it work, right? And I wouldn't say that at this point in time that was where the attachment came in, but it was genuinely more of a like, okay, let's genuinely try to like heal this scab. You know what I mean? That's what it was at this time, right? But or like initially, I guess you could say. And then obviously, like later throughout the year, we just talked more and more and more. I come home, we talk about it. Obviously, it didn't work out, right? But the main thing with this one, and there's really not even a story here. The most important part about oranges, or excuse me, about apples, right, is during the falling out, when I, thinking to myself, whatever, I'd have moments like my inner conscious was conflicting with my external like body. Oh, damn it! Sorry, guys. Oh, I've only been recording for 30 minutes. Really, I felt like it's been way longer. Um, maybe if I move to the left, that should be good. Anyways, like I said, my inner conscious was having conflicts with my external like verbiage, I guess you could say. Um Basically, I had fallen out of love with her, and it was just weird for my brain and my body to understand that. You know what I mean? It was really weird, like, hey, you spent all this time with somebody, oh, it's crooked and that's gonna bother me. Damn it. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. YouTuber things, gotta make sure the camera's perfect. I really hope I didn't press the volume button to end the video. Cool. I don't know if that's any better. Okay, it looks better. Anyways, um, internal external battle with myself. Um, Internal me, you know, I had just, you know, I was not in love with her anymore. I just wasn't, right? And it was so hard for me to accept that because like we try to figure it out and we just try to talk whatever whatever, but at the end of the day, after the phone call hangs up, in the back of my mind I'm still like, or in the front of my mind even, I'm still like, I am not in love with you. I have love for you, I do, but that deep infatuation, being in love with somebody, I didn't have that. It faded away, right? And this is, I guess you could say, where the conflict really happened. um I had a thought to myself one day, that I knew. I'm not gonna say how much I benefited her because I don't want that to sound bad. I don't want it to be like that. But it's like one of those like, making. I kind of tried to just make sure that she's doing the right things. Try to make sure she's happy first. Go to work, do the school thing, get good shit. Make sure all your shit's done. Have fun. Blah 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 blah. All of just like the hey, just making sure you're good. Really, I guess you could say. I don't even know how to explain it. Boy, my mama crazy as hell for not locking the car. Anyways, um, that's what I tried to do. And I because of that, like I said, I had love for her, so that's why I still tried to do those things and just be there. But that deep infatuation of being in love, it was not there no more. And that's where this conflict came. Like I said, internally wasn't there, but externally, I kid you not, I had told myself at one point that I would stay with her. I would get back together with her to make her happy. And now you see where the conflict with the internal and external happened. Because the external version of me is like, okay, you can stay with her, to make her happy and still benefit her and help her out. But internally, I'm not, I've fallen out of love with this woman. My heart and soul, that deep rootedness, it's not there anymore. Those butterflies are gone. You know what I mean? They flew the fuck away. Um, Shout out neighbor. It's an old man. But yeah, even like with that one was a hard one to come to terms with. I remember talking to my coworker about it, and it was kind of crazy. This at the time, at least where I worked, it was kind of crazy talking to somebody and like hearing it out loud and hearing or like letting somebody else know that you thought those types of things. 'Cause for me at least, I thought dude, it was crazy to think that I was really gonna sacrifice my. This is basically what it was. I was going to sacrifice and put my own happiness to the side for somebody else, all while knowing that it's flat out not what I want. I was attached. I don't really know what else to say. That's what I forgot to look up. I was going to look up the meaning of attached before this to kind of get a baseline and maybe make this video make somewhat more sense, but I didn't. Anyways, I was quite literally going to do that. I was going to sacrifice my own internal happiness in the joy that I could provide myself to see somebody else happy because I know it benefit them. And that's so crazy to say. I was going to get with somebody that I did not want to be with, that I did not have love for because I was attached to them. And I don't know why that was. And like I said, like through the phone calls, it was still one of those, there's light at the end of the tunnel, the scab can heal, just be optimistic about it, trust the process, whatever, right? Fast forward, didn't work out. Like I said, we weren't great. We weren't good to each other. We both cheated. We both lied. We both just did bad things. It was long distance, so you know, yeah. And that's the second person. Um, but it was again one of those. I was struggling, a battle with myself, all because I just have these high regards and these high emotions for somebody else that I'm putting myself not at the forefront. I'm putting myself behind on the back burner. That's not good. Um, yeah. So I don't know if any of that made sense. Sorry. Um, good. Um, let's see. What's the next name for the next person? Shout out Mailman. We'll call the next person. We'll call them strawberries. Um, Strawberries. I met Strawberry sophomore year. Shout out Mailman. Usually I'd be thrown off. I'd force myself to keep talking, so there wasn't an awkward pause while he's right there. Um, I met Strawberries sophomore year of college. Um, Short story short, I will say again, this is like I said. I feel like with each person that I'm telling you guys about, there's just the maturity level is just increased, right? Or there's something different from the last person to the next person. Um, in all honesty, before I knew who Strawberries was, I saw him around campus, and I was like, damn, Shorty look kind of cool. Shorty look kind of cool. I'm keeping it buck. Those of you who know me, I'm a sucker for tattoos, piercings, and dyed hair. The emo aesthetic, it's I met emo people really early on, and my brain just really fucked with it. Um, and she had this aesthetic, so there's already my mind was already had this idea of just, hey, she's just a good looking woman. Hey, she's attractive, right? Fast forward, fate of the universe, somehow met her. Her best friend lived next door to me. Um, Now it progressed to, hey, this girl, this woman that you just randomly saw around campus, and you're saying, damn, she's attractive. Now you're in the same room yapping with your roommates and her roommates, and I'm like, it was crazy because I'm like, how? What are the odds? How in the hell did this shit happen? How am I in this situation right now? I was literally, I kid you not, the day that I met her, I went to the diner late. I think I was bored. I don't remember what I had, but I remember I at the end, the last thing I had was a cup of chocolate milk. Her and her friend walked in. They were sitting like two tables behind me. In my mind, I'm like, oh, hey, that's that one female. Cool. 2 hours later, I met that female. Fate of the universe. Short story short, one of my roommates was bored. He's like, hey, let's like just knock on a door. Knocked on their door. She didn't live there. She lived in a different dorm. Her friend opened up, and then she was there, and I was like, whoa, what the hell? Fast forward, start talking to them. They're like, hey, bro, we high key thought you were weird for you just drinking chocolate milk. And I was like, no, I had other stuff. Anyways. My brain already created this image of strawberries. Not a crazy image, but strawberries was just a mere thought in my mind where beforehand strawberries wasn't ever a thought, right? And then obviously fast forward, I meet strawberries. Now strawberries is more of a thought because I'm like, damn, I'm sitting next to you. That's so crazy. I did not think this would be happening, right? Fast forward more, um, we all just get cool. My dorm and their dorm get cool. Um, and then me and Strawberry start hanging out. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It was a sneaky link type of deal. Um, but Strawberry also had a boyfriend. I knew this. I was also in my petty egotistical era at this time too. I want to clarify that. I told myself, right? I saw the guy. I knew what he looked like. I keep it a buck. I high key thought it was like a best friend. Um, I told myself, I was like, you know what? I could probably get them to break up. I know what I look like. I see what he looks like. We don't look nothing like. I can get y'all to break up. Wrong. It's looking back. I think it's so crazy to me, and I was such a terrible person for really thinking that I could get two people to break up who've been in a established relationship, and you just met this person. Like, dude, that's crazy to me. You're such a terrible human being for that, right? Like I've grown from it. I've learned from it. That takes too much damn effort. I'm never doing that shit again. Um, but damn, this motherfucker walk fast. Where'd he go? Anyways, oh damn, he do walk fast. He walked fast as hell. He's already at the end of the street. Anyways, Strawberry had a boyfriend. Blah blah blah. Me and Strawberry, sneaky Lincoln. Um, and obviously there's a unwritten rule that the more you hang out with somebody, the more feelings are just gonna naturally come, no matter what. It's impossible to not hang out with somebody and not feel some type of way. It's impossible. It's impossible. I was gonna make an anime reference for about 2 seconds. I actually meant to talk about it yesterday. Irrelevant. Sorry. It's not possible to hang out with somebody a lot and then not grow towards them, to not feel for them, or not get emotions of liking them or any serious. It's literally not possible. I don't care what you say. Um, so me and Strawberry just hanging out, snapping, texting, hanging out in the group. Cool. I'm starting to fuck with Strawberry. And I'm also like, well, I see what your nigga looks like. I can get you to break up with him. I can. I was wrong. Never did. I didn't get them to break up with each other. Um, but you know, when I first met Strawberry, that's kind of, it was like I said, it was just that, just hanging out on the low. And there was a point in time where it was basically like, hey, this can't work. Um, this has to end. And I was like, all right, cool, right? And we fast forward. Funny enough, Strawberry came back. Huh? Yeah, she came back. Anyways, though, um, I have a buddy of mine. Strawberry had put one of my friends on one of her friends, right? And then one day Strawberry asked me like, "Hey, you talking to anybody?" Blah blah blah. And I was like, "No, what's up?" I'm thinking she finna put me on a friend because I'm like, oh, "Okay, she just helped Twin out. She finna help me out, right?" I was wrong. It was she that for herself. And then I was like, hey, what's up with you and your nigga? Shh, don't worry about it. All right, I'm here. Hey, I just wanted to bring it up, be respectful, but you said don't worry about it, so we're not gonna worry about it, right? That's also another fuck up. Shit, I could have just said no. Um, but yeah. So fast forward again, same thing. Being Strawberry on the low, you know what I'm saying, sneaky Lincoln or whatever. Um, it was just a lot more low key this time, or at least an attempt to be. Um, but even at this time, I had found myself still just trying to do just the little things. You know what I mean? The little things because I felt that I felt that I got acknowledged. You know what I mean? Because like I said in the very beginning, I feel that like from my childhood, that's the only thing I've just ever wanted is to just be acknowledged. I feel that as it is a human desire, a human need, or at least a human want to feel acknowledged. Now, in whatever form of that is, whatever form, however you want to be acknowledged, is different than how I want to be acknowledged. I'm not saying there's a specific way I want to, but I'm just saying it looks different for everybody. Um, but for me, I don't even know what it is for me. But it's really just like strawberries hit me up again. It made me feel acknowledged. It made me feel like somebody saw me for a person rather than a number at this school of over 2,000 people. You know, I went from being number 2,376 to B. To me, I was acknowledged for being a person. I don't even know how to word it, right? And that was just something that I just really just sat with. I don't even know where I'm trying to go with this now. But basically, fast forward, I found myself just kind of just doing the little things again, all while still knowing that Strawberries has a boyfriend. And at this time, I'm not trying to get her to break up with him because it's just too much energy. But I'm kind of just here going through the motions. Um, I said little things, but there really wasn't a lot. I don't know. Strawberries needed something, food, drink. All right, cool. You know, what I'm saying I grab it, whatever, whatever. Just dip to my crib because again, it's a low key thing. I'm not trying to be, wasn't trying to be caught up in public for real. Um, but it was one of those, you know, hey, go to class, hey, go to practice, hey, do this, hey, do that. Um, whereas, is that the trash? What the hell? Wonder what they're doing down here. Fire truck. Um, I just found myself just trying to do the little things when there wasn't really a purpose. I had no meaning to do the little things. I didn't have to try to help you go to class. This is I don't know. I don't want this to sound bad, but it's one of those. I was just pouring a lot of energy into something that just wasn't finna go anywhere, right? And again, I think this stems from because I felt acknowledged. I felt somebody acknowledged me, right? And then again, looking at it now, it's this attachment that I had to these people, which I feel is really why the emotions get so high for me and things like that, right? Fast forward because I feel like I'm making these stories way too long than what they need to be. It made perfect sense when I was speaking out loud last night. Fast forward, hanging out with Strawberry, going walking, whatever, whatever, and I had just found myself, kind of trying to speak on these things of, like trying to speak on the fact that that scabs do heal. I was trying to tell tell Strawberries that scabs do heal and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I understand that you're in a predicament in life right now, but the predicament can change. That scab, it's not going to look the same when it's done. It'll be healed. It'll look different. It'll be something else. I don't even know if this is making sense. But I had found myself just like speaking to her and being back in the same pattern of what if is what if is kind of was the thing, I guess you could say. Um, but again, I think it just stemmed from this just deep attachment. Like I said earlier, you spend a lot of time around somebody, you can't help but grow to like them. I think it's impossible, and that's what this was. I knew what I was doing. I knew what I signed up for. I even asked what I signed up for. I didn't. Excuse me. I even asked in the beginning, "Do you have a boyfriend?" Yes. I said, "Cool." I don't know. And it's one of those, I think the things that I've noticed that I started having in common here, at least with the last two stories, is that I just put people first. I really do, and it sounds so bad. It sounds really, really bad, and I've even admitted it to other people, is that I do put other, like, I feel like a lot of people, they'd say, "Oh, I don't put myself first, blah 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 blah." No, brother. I literally don't. I do not put myself first. I was going to get with somebody for their happiness. I was going to sacrifice my own happiness, my own self joy for another person. I was hanging out with a person who I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere. I knew their situation and it was not going to go anywhere, but they still got satisfaction from hanging out with me and being with me. Whereas in my mind, I would like the end result to be different, but I know the end result's not going to be different. Putting my happiness and my pride way in the back for somebody else. Right? I feel like a lot of people say they put themselves, they don't, they put their friends first, but like, do you really? It's like I do, and it's bad. It's like it's not bad. I think it's good to put others first, but like not to how I'm talking about it. I don't know. Fast forward, I actually ended up meeting Strawberry's boyfriend. I fuck with him. We only had like a 10-second conversation. He complimented my tattoos. That was my very first impression of him. He complimented my tattoos, so I was like, "Damn, twin, I can't even hate." That was literally my first and last conversation with him. Hey, I like your tattoos. Oh, thanks, appreciate it. Started showing him. Cool, right? Um, Fizzled out. Life continued lifing after that. Um, but now we're at the main, the meat and potatoes. The next person, right? Um, we're gonna call this person Grapes. Um, I've known Grapes for a while. Just been really cool friends, great friends. But it really wasn't until recently that it kind of just started changing. Um, Obviously, when it comes to hanging out with somebody and liking somebody, there is that phase of just life is amazing. Nothing could go wrong. Life is great. The honeymoon phase, as everybody calls it. Um, Honeymoon phase was phasing. Life was absolutely great. I was happy as I could be. Um, and then obviously at some point shit hit the fan. It was my fault, right? We're not gonna talk about it, but whatever. Um, but what I'm getting at is after shit hit the fan, I found myself really struggling with trying to understand the other person. There was things that the other person said. None of these are bad, by the way. There was things that the other person said and things that me and the other person talked about, but my brain I just didn't understand it. I was just like, I don't get that. I just don't, right? And it was one of those. I think that my mind, obviously, I was having troubles, like understanding um, what was happening. Um, but I think it was also because there's the honeymoon phase. Everything's just great, happy go lucky. It's kind of hard to look past that phase. Um, and it was hard for me to look past that phase. I still wanted to just be there for Grapes. I still wanted to hang out with Grapes. I still wanted to talk to Grapes. Whether it was just sit in the same room and do work, I just wanted to do that. I just wanted to be in the present of Grapes. You know, um, I wasn't asking for a whole lot. Yeah, I was asking, saying get food, whatever, whatever. But like at the grand scheme of things, I just wanted to be in the same presence because I felt that I was being acknowledged. When I'm sitting in my room by myself with my door closed, there's no acknowledgement in there. Me and my roommate barely saw each other. Not in a bad way. It's just one of those, we were quietly just doing our own thing. He's doing work. I'm with the frat. I'm at practice. I'm at the gym. I'm in meetings. Blah blah blah. We barely saw each other, but it was one of those, when we talked for like 3 hours. So yeah, made up for it. But I had just found myself, even after me and Grapes said certain things, nothing bad. Me and Grapes talked about how we just needed to chill out a little bit. I just still found myself just wanting to be acknowledged, and in my mind, I don't know how my brain perceived it. Like I said, I struggled with the adjustments that needed to be made. Excuse me. But I don't even know. But basically, like I've I've just started wondering. Hola, I'm making a YouTube video. What time is it? That's cool. Oh, uh, I'll be in a sec. Shout out, moms. Um, Hold on. I do need to see what time it is. I'm so sorry, guys. I remember my thought. Just please bear with me here. I'm terribly sorry, guys. Oh, if I could. 10:32. I got to bring this to a close because I got to go work out in a bit. Um, After my emotions started getting really intense for grapes, I just started questioning myself, and this is like last night. What made the most sense to me, why I feel the way I felt for grapes, is because grapes. She quite literally changed my perception of life as I've started getting older, and like I said, with each as I've gotten older, I feel like the maturity levels increased, and I look for different things. It's something that I've started looking for recently, or just I just want to meet more like-minded people. Just people who just think. You could ask me what's the meaning of the universe, and I'd be like, dude, we're best friends. I swear. But one of the reasons I feel like I value grapes so much, and I have these such strong emotions for grapes, is because I grapes quite literally like changed my perception of the world. Grapes rewired my brain chemistry. I thought different because of grapes. Um, I don't know, and that was something that I really just valued because I really value people who think and people who are like-minded. If we can't have a random deep conversation about the meaning of the universe, what is there to talk about? I don't know. Um, but the main thing that I came to terms with, and what made sense to me last night, is grapes pushed me to be a better person, which is great. I think all people should do that. But it was one of those, I felt that who I was shifting into because of grapes, I've never been happier with that version of myself. And I'm not sitting here saying I need other people to make me feel validated or whatever, whatever. I mean, that's kind of in part the acknowledgement aspect and the attachment. But because I also say that nobody can bring you better gratification than yourself can. You know what I mean? Nobody can make you happier than you truly can make yourself, right? But what I'm saying is like, I'm the student who I typically start studying for that test 2 days later. I get my homework done the day before. My emails. Yeah, I try to figure out how to make it sound professional. Blah 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 blah. Grapes made me. I'm studying a week in advance. I'm getting my assignments done that Tuesday opposed to that Thursday. I'm enjoying the gym more. I even like in another video I talk about track. I almost quit track. I almost quit my favorite sport in the entire universe because I just don't like my coach. I was at a 10% love for this sport. Grapes brought it up to a 70. You know what I mean? And because of grapes, I really just started this person that I was, who I was becoming, how I was carrying myself, how I was speaking to others. I've never loved that version of myself more. Truly, I really haven't. Like, and I think that's why I care for grapes so much as I do, because I've never like, fuck, that version of myself was like, that's that was just the happiest version of me. I'm not saying I'm not happy, but like I felt the person that I was becoming. I've never been happier feeling like I'm becoming into something that, like, truly, I don't even know if that makes sense. Like, I felt that who I was getting shaped into, I started loving who I was getting shaped into because of grapes. They brought my love for my favorite sport back. I started making good grades. I figured out how to study. I've been in college for 3 years, 4 years, and I don't know how to study. Hello, I've tried different methods. I've tried TikTok, blah blah blah. I don't know how to study. Grapes teaches me how to study, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. I actually enjoy doing work. I'm doing work days in advance so I can goof off or whatever. Like, excuse me, I don't know. And it's really hard right now to gauge if I'm attached to grapes because of previous things in my life and patterns that I've noticed within myself, or if this is a different feeling. You know what I mean? Like I say I have attachment issues because there's just been patterns that I've noticed, you know? Um I don't know. Life is lifing right now. Um fuck, I need water. I need water, not coffee. Goddamn. I need water. Anyways, sorry. Um and like there's part of me, there's patterns going on between with grapes right now that I've seen just in the past. And the reason why it's so frustrating for me right now is because I can't distinguish if this is the attachment that I've had in the past and these are just the patterns lining up again, or if this is something different. No other person has made me, you know, has helped me shape into a better person and has made me feel that happiness of becoming a better person. Nobody's ever done that, which is why I value grapes so much. But at the same time, I found myself trying to do just things that I've done before, showing that there's this attachment. But it's one of those I can't differentiate if I'm attached to grapes or if I'm quite literally just trying to heal that scab. You know what I mean? I'm not a doctor, but I'm Googling how to be a doctor to help that scab. I can't tell, guys, and I don't know, bruh. I think that's why it's so hard. It's so hard. I have attachment issues. I do. We all have issues. Something's wrong with every single one of us. Not in a bad way. Something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with my neighbor. Something's wrong with my mom. Something's wrong with the cat lady down at the corner of the street. Something's wrong with all of us. We all have issues. Um, Obviously, how you handle them is a big determinant. Um, as I said earlier, this isn't me. I'm not making this video to try to inform you guys on anything or give you life advice. This is just me just decompressing. This is me decompressing. This is me trying to clear my mind to let my just brain be free. Like I said, I've been talking to God, praying to bro, just asking him for just clarity, to just get out of this loop that I've been in, to just worry about the life of B and not worry about the life of grapes. You know, I wake up, I think about grapes. Kid you not. Kid you not. This last week, for the moment I've woken up, I think about grapes. I don't think about what I have to do today. I think about grapes. I don't think that's healthy. That's why I say I can't tell if this is attachment or if this is that deep longing, that deep inner feeling. I don't know what it is, guys. I really don't. But we all have issues. Mine are attachment issues. Um, I encourage you guys to do like I did. Just sit with your thoughts. Just speak out loud like I did. Maybe you might come to terms with something. I don't know. That's what I did, and I came to terms with myself last night that I have these issues. Not that they're bad. We're all human. We all learn. It's everybody's first attempt at this stuff. Um, I don't know. I've never been 21 before. I've never done any of this before, so it's all new. Um, like I said earlier, sorry if none of this made sense. But I, I'm finna end the video. But I do. Well, not work out. What? I'm finna go. No, at where I work. I'm finna leave. No, you too. Shout out moms. She's making sure I'm not gonna be late for work. I don't have work. I have to go work out. Anyways, though, sorry if this video's kind of been all over the place. My brain's been all over the place. My mental quite hasn't been in the spot where I want it to be, and it's pretty hard for me to accept that. Um, I don't know, bro. Scabs heal. I got scabs on spots in my body I can't reach, and with due time they'll heal. You know, figure out yourself, learn yourself, um, address your issues, so you don't have to sit there and wake up and think about grapes like I do every day. Uh, it's not good for my health. I don't know. I don't got much. Love you guys. Stay safe. Take care of yourself. I gotta go get jacked.